In the vast tapestry of time, our planet has endured and adapted through epochs of turmoil and transformation, a testament to its resilience and the indomitable spirit of life itself. We invite you to join us on this contemplative journey as we traverse the chronicles of Earth's history, exploring the profound and often mysterious events of mass extinctions. As you listen, kindly share with us the time and place from which you join. And if our stories resonate with you, consider subscribing to accompany us on future explorations. The story of life on Earth is nothing short of a grand epic unfolding over billions of years. It is a narrative punctuated by moments of remarkable creativity and profound loss. The pages of this story reveal a planet in constant flux, shaped by the forces of nature into the world we know today. Yet, to truly appreciate the present, we must delve into the past, to those pivotal moments when life teetered on the brink of oblivion. Thank you for joining us on this voyage of discovery. We look forward to exploring these monumental events with you, as we unravel the mysteries of our planet's past and contemplate the profound lessons it holds for us all. In the vast tapestry of Earth's history, the Ordovician period stands as a remarkable chapter, a time when life in the oceans flourished with extraordinary diversity. Roughly 485 million years ago, the planet was a vastly different place, its continents scattered across the globe in a pattern unrecognizable today. The Ordovician seas were warm and shallow, teeming with life that painted a vivid picture of biological exuberance. It was a period when marine ecosystems reached new heights of complexity, and the foundations for future biodiversity were laid with intricate care. Picture, if you will, a world where the land was largely barren, its surfaces a canvas yet to be touched by the verdant hand of terrestrial life. Instead, life thrived in the oceans, a dazzling display of forms both familiar and alien to our modern eyes. The seas were dominated by a wide array of organisms, from the armored trilobites scuttling along the sea floor to the elegant tentacled nautiloids gliding effortlessly through the water. These creatures, with their spiral shells, were the apex predators of their time, commanding a presence in the marine food web that would echo through the ages. The marine landscape of the Ordovician was sculpted by the forces of geology. Vast carbonate platforms stretched across the equatorial regions, formed from the skeletal remains of countless marine organisms. These platforms provided a rich habitat for a multitude of species, including brachiopods and bryozoans, which anchored themselves to the sea floor, creating complex reef systems. These reefs, unlike the coral reefs we know today, were constructed primarily by these less familiar groups, yet they harbored a similar richness of life. The waters themselves were a living kaleidoscope, teeming with planktonic organisms that drifted with the currents, forming the base of the food chain. Among these were the graptolites, colonial creatures that left behind intricate fossilized patterns, offering us glimpses into the past. Their presence signaled the abundance of life that sustained the larger, more conspicuous inhabitants of the Ordovician seas. It was a time of innovation in the evolutionary narrative, as organisms adapted to their environments in myriad ways. The cephalopods, with their advanced nervous systems and keen eyesight, were among the most sophisticated predators, while the humble trilobites, with their segmented exoskeletons, showcased a remarkable range of adaptations, from burrowing to swimming. Each species carved out its niche, contributing to an ecosystem that was both robust and fragile. The Ordovician Earth was also a time of significant geological activity. The continents were on the move, as tectonic forces slowly rearranged the surface of the planet. This movement influenced oceanic circulation patterns and, consequently, the climate itself. Volcanic activity was common, contributing to the dynamic nature of the period, as eruptions spewed ash and gases into the atmosphere, subtly altering the environment. As we reflect upon this ancient world, it is tempting to imagine the sights and sounds of the Ordovician oceans. The gentle lapping of waves against the shores of primordial lands, the muted cacophony of marine life going about its daily existence, the intricate dance of predator and prey played out beneath the waves. It was a world of abundance, yet one that teetered on the edge of change, its fate intertwined with the planet's ever-shifting climatic rhythms. In understanding the richness of the Ordovician seas, we gain insight into the resilience and vulnerability of life itself. The tapestry of organisms that thrived during this period laid the groundwork for future evolutionary leaps, contributing to the complex web of life that would eventually come to include us. Yet, even as life reached new heights, the seeds of its own transformation were being sown, as the planet prepared to enter a period of dramatic change. This chapter of Earth's history serves as a reminder of the intricate connections between life and the environment, and the delicate balance that sustains both. As we journey through the annals of time, the Ordovician stands as a testament to the wonders of evolution and the ever-changing nature of our planet. In contemplating this distant past, we are invited to consider the lessons it holds for us today, as stewards of a world that remains in constant flux. As we journey back to the ancient world of the Ordovician period, we find ourselves in a time that feels almost alien in its configuration, yet strikingly familiar in its rhythms of life. The Earth, some 445 million years ago, was a place of lush seas, teeming with an early and diverse array of marine organisms. Trilobites, brachiopods, and the early ancestors of cephalopods populated these vast oceanic expanses, creating a tapestry of life so rich and varied that it would rival any modern coral reef in complexity. Yet, in this vibrant aquatic Eden, subtle shifts were brewing beneath the surface, setting the stage for one of Earth's earliest and most profound mass extinctions. This event, known as the End Ordovician Extinction, marked a cataclysmic change, an abrupt cooling that would sweep across the planet, profoundly altering its marine ecosystems. To understand the magnitude of this extinction, we must first consider the Ordovician climate, a period of relative stability and warmth that had allowed life to flourish in the oceans. But this stability was fragile, resting on a knife edge of geological and atmospheric balances. The key to this delicate equilibrium lay in the planet's carbon cycle, a complex dance between the atmosphere, oceans, and the burgeoning plant life along the coastlines. As the planet cooled, a series of cascading events unfolded. The first signs of this chill were perhaps imperceptible, a slight shift in temperature that would have gone unnoticed by the creatures inhabiting the seas. Yet, these small changes had enormous implications. Ice sheets began to form at the poles, growing steadily larger as temperatures continued to drop. This growth of ice had a dramatic effect on sea levels, causing them to fall precipitously. Vast areas of shallow marine habitats, once bustling with life, were suddenly exposed to the elements, leaving their inhabitants stranded. The loss of these coastal and continental shelf environments was catastrophic for many species, leading to a rapid decline in biodiversity. As the ice sheets advanced, they altered ocean currents, reshaping the distribution of nutrients and oxygen within the seas. Cold, oxygen-rich waters, once confined to the polar regions, began to mix with warmer waters, disrupting the delicate balance that marine life depended upon. For many organisms, this meant a struggle for survival in increasingly inhospitable conditions. The cooling also had a profound impact on atmospheric circulation patterns. The Earth's climate system, sensitive and interconnected, responded with shifts in wind and weather patterns. These changes further compounded the stress on marine ecosystems as temperature gradients and altered oceanic flows created new and challenging environments. The extinction that unfolded was swift and severe, a testament to the fragility of life in the face of such drastic environmental changes. The end Ordovician extinction is estimated to have wiped out approximately 85% of marine species, a staggering loss of life that reshaped the very fabric of the oceans. Entire groups of organisms vanished, while others were reduced to mere remnants of their former abundance. Amidst this devastation, however, life persisted. The survivors of this great dying were those that could adapt to the new conditions, finding niches in the altered ecosystems. Some species evolved to tolerate colder temperatures, while others found refuge in deeper or more stable parts of the oceans. It was a time of trial and transformation, as the forces of natural selection winnowed the resilient from the vulnerable. The implications of the end Ordovician extinction reverberate through time, offering lessons and insights into the dynamics of extinction and survival. The abrupt cooling that triggered this event reminds us of the interconnectedness of Earth's systems and the delicate balance that supports life. It underscores the importance of understanding the complex interactions between climate, oceanography, and biology, a knowledge that remains crucial today as we face our own era of environmental change. As we reflect on this ancient chapter of Earth's history, we are reminded of the resilience and adaptability of life. The end Ordovician extinction, though devastating, was not an end, but a transformation, a reset that paved the way for new forms of life to emerge and thrive in the aftermath. It is a poignant reminder of the enduring dance between destruction and creation that has shaped our planet's history and will continue to do so long into the future. In the quiet corridors of Earth's ancient history, a pivotal chapter unfolds as we witness the formation of vast ice sheets and the consequent retreat of once expansive seas. The Ordovician period, a time of flourishing marine life, is gradually overshadowed by an environmental transformation of immense magnitude. The world, as it was known then, stood on the brink of profound change. This was not merely a shift in climate, but a redefinition of ecosystems that had thrived for millions of years. During the late Ordovician period, the planet began to experience a significant drop in temperature. This cooling was not sudden, but rather a gradual descent into colder climes, marked by the slow accumulation of ice across the Gondwanan supercontinent. Gondwana, an ancient landmass that included what we now recognize as parts of Africa, South America, Antarctica, Australia, and the Indian subcontinent, drifted southwards, edging closer to the polar regions. As it did, the conditions became ripe for the formation of extensive ice sheets. These massive sheets of ice, glacial giants in their own right, began to dominate the landscape. They expanded over the land, inch by relentless inch, driven by the inexorable march of colder temperatures. The ice sheets were a testament to the planet's dynamic nature, a silent yet powerful force that reshaped the geography of Earth. As they grew, they locked away vast quantities of water, leading to a significant drop in global sea levels. The seas, which had been teeming with an extraordinary diversity of life, began to recede. Coastal habitats, which had supported a rich tapestry of organisms, were exposed and left barren. The drop in sea levels was not merely a surface phenomenon, it reached deep into the fabric of marine ecosystems. Shallow, warm water habitats, crucial for the survival of many species, vanished, and with them, the delicate balance that had sustained countless marine organisms. As the seas fell, the cascading effects on marine life were profound. Many species, unable to adapt to the rapidly changing conditions, faced extinction. The shallow marine environments, once vibrant with life, became inhospitable. Coral reefs, the rainforests of the sea, which had flourished in these shallow waters, were among the first to suffer. The organisms that depended on them for food and shelter found themselves struggling to survive in an increasingly hostile world. This was more than just a loss of habitat, it was a collapse of ecosystems. The Ordovician seas were home to an array of life forms, from trilobites to brachiopods, each playing a role in the intricate web of life. As the ice sheets continued their relentless advance, these ecosystems began to unravel. The interconnectedness of life meant that the disappearance of even a single species could have far-reaching implications, rippling through the food chain. The oceanic currents, which had regulated the climate and nurtured marine life by distributing nutrients, were also disrupted. With the cooling temperatures, these currents altered, affecting the distribution of life-sustaining nutrients across the seas. This further contributed to the decline of marine biodiversity, as organisms struggled to find sustenance in an increasingly sparse environment. But even amidst this widespread loss, the Earth displayed its capacity for resilience and adaptation. While many species vanished, others evolved, finding ways to survive in the new conditions. Those that endured became the ancestors of future life, carrying forward the legacy of their Ordovician predecessors. The long-term implications of this event are etched into the very fabric of life's history on Earth. It serves as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance that sustains ecosystems and the profound impact that climatic shifts can have on global biodiversity. The Ordovician extinction was not just an end, but also a beginning, a period of transition that set the stage for the evolution of new forms of life in the subsequent Silurian period. As we reflect on this distant past, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of all life and the environment. The ice sheets and falling seas of the Ordovician era hold lessons for us today as we navigate our own challenges with climate change. In the patterns of history, we find both cautionary tales and sources of hope, prompting us to consider our place within the vast tapestry of Earth's history. As we journey through the quiet aftermath of the end Ordovician extinction, we find ourselves in a world that is both familiar and strange. The Earth had just endured one of the most severe glacial events in its history, and the great ice sheets had begun their reluctant retreat. a tentative warmth was seeping back into the world, melting ice and slowly raising sea levels. This was a period of profound transformation, where life had to adapt or perish in the face of relentless change. In the depths of the ancient oceans, resilience was the key to survival. Marine life, having suffered significant losses, faced the daunting task of rebuilding its communities. The survivors, those hardy few that weathered the icy onslaught, began to repopulate the seas. Among them were brachiopods, trilobites, and graptolites, creatures that had once thrived in the Ordovician's warm, shallow waters. These survivors were not alone. They shared the ocean with an array of new forms that slowly, almost imperceptibly, began to evolve. The process of recovery in the marine environment was not an overnight affair. It was a gradual, painstaking journey that unfolded over millions of years. This was a time when natural selection worked its quiet magic, favoring those species that could cope with the new conditions. As the ice receded, the oceans warmed and became more hospitable, allowing biodiversity to slowly increase. This was a world where opportunity favored the resilient and the adaptable, and life began to explore new ecological niches. On land, the story was different. The terrestrial realm during the early Silurian was still a young and largely barren frontier. The plants that had begun to colonize the land in the Ordovician were sparse, limited to small, moss-like forms that clung to the damp margins of water bodies. However, the gradual warming of the climate provided an opportunity for these terrestrial pioneers to expand their range. Over time, they evolved into more complex vascular plants, which could grow taller and transport water and nutrients more effectively. This marked the beginning of a slow greening of the land, paving the way for more diverse ecosystems to develop. The role of the Earth's atmosphere in this recovery was crucial. As the climate warmed, atmospheric conditions became more stable, reducing the frequency of severe weather events that had characterized the glacial period. The increase in carbon dioxide levels, a result of volcanic activity and the decay of organic matter, contributed to a greenhouse effect that further warmed the planet. This created a more conducive environment for life to flourish, allowing ecosystems to stabilize and diversify. As ecosystems began to recover, a fascinating dynamic emerged. The survivors of the extinction event were not merely reclaiming their old habitats, they were reshaping them. The new environmental conditions favored different adaptations, leading to the emergence of novel species and ecological interactions. This was a time of experimentation and innovation in the natural world, as life explored the boundaries of what was possible in a transformed Earth. In the oceans, coral reefs, which had been decimated during the extinction, slowly began to re-establish themselves. These complex structures, built by the calcium carbonate skeletons of corals, provided essential habitat for countless marine organisms. The rebuilding of reefs was a slow and gradual process, but it played a vital role in the recovery of marine biodiversity. Reefs offered shelter and feeding grounds, supporting a myriad of species and helping to restore the balance of marine ecosystems. The recovery of life after the end. Ordovician extinction also set the stage for significant evolutionary innovations. Among these was the diversification of jawed fish, which would come to dominate the seas in the Devonian period. This evolutionary leap would have profound implications for the structure of marine food webs, as jawed fish became formidable predators and competitors. The resilience of life in the face of such adversity is a testament to the enduring power of evolution. Despite the severity of the end Ordovician extinction, Earth's ecosystems demonstrated an incredible capacity to recover and adapt. This resilience is not only a central theme in the history of life on our planet, but also a source of inspiration and hope for the future. Life's ability to rebound, to find new ways to thrive, underscores a fundamental truth about our world. Change, however disruptive, often brings opportunity. In contemplating this chapter of Earth's history, we are reminded of the intricate interplay between life and the environment. The recovery from the end. Ordovician extinction was not just a return to the status quo, it was an evolutionary renaissance, a time when life reimagined itself in the wake of catastrophe. As we continue our journey through deep time, we carry with us the knowledge that resilience and adaptation are woven into the very fabric of life. This reflection on the past invites us to consider the present and future with a sense of perspective. Earth's history is marked by cycles of change, each presenting challenges and opportunities. As we face our own environmental uncertainties, the story of life's recovery after the freeze offers a quiet reminder of the resilience inherent in nature. A resilience that has seen life through the darkest of times, emerging anew with each turn of the ages. The Devonian period, stretching from approximately 419 to 359 million years ago, invites us into a world of ancient seas, teeming with an extraordinary tapestry of life. It was an era that witnessed the flourishing of the first complex ecosystems, a vibrant chapter in Earth's history often referred to as the Age of Fishes. As we gently wade into these ancient waters, we find ourselves amidst a realm of astonishing diversity and intricate interdependencies that would become the bedrock of evolutionary marvels yet to unfold. Imagine, if you will, the vast expanses of shallow, warm seas that cradled the continents of this bygone epoch. These waters were not silent. They hummed with the quiet thrumming of gills and the gentle sway of fins. Here, early coral reefs began their architectural feats, constructing towering edifices of limestone that would rival any modern city skyline in their complexity and scale. These reefs, like bustling metropolises of the sea, harbored an astonishing variety of life forms, each contributing its part to the bustling ecosystem. The Devonian seas were dominated by a cast of characters that included the jawless, armor-plated fish known as ostracoderms, whose peculiar forms would eventually give way to more advanced vertebrates. Among these were the placoderms, an early group of jawed fish that could be considered the apex predators of their time. Dunkleosteus, one of the most formidable of these placoderms, embodied the raw power and evolutionary innovation of the Devonian seas with its massive armored head and razor-sharp, self-sharpening jaw plates. These early jawed fish were not merely predators, they were pioneers, marking a significant evolutionary step forward. The development of jaws allowed these creatures to exploit new food sources and niches, driving a diversification that would have long-lasting implications for life on Earth. It is a poignant reminder of how minor adaptations can ripple through the tapestry of life, altering the course of evolution in profound ways. Beyond the formidable presence of placoderms, the Devonian seas were a crucible for the evolution of other significant marine groups. Cartilaginous fish, the ancestors of today's sharks and rays, began to make their appearance, their streamlined bodies and keen senses hinting at the successful predators they would become. Meanwhile, the lobe-finned fish, or sarcopterygians, started to venture closer to the shores. These fish, with their fleshy, lobed fins, bore the ancestral traits that would eventually lead to the first vertebrates to walk on land. While the seas were the main stage, the Devonian period also saw the beginnings of a significant shift in the plant world. Moving from water to land, early plants were starting to take root, quite literally, in the ancient soils. This greening of the land would have profound implications for the biosphere, altering not only the composition of the atmosphere, but also impacting the oceans themselves. The spread of plant life increased the amount of organic material entering aquatic systems, which in turn influenced the development and diversification of marine life. The Devonian world was not without its challenges. The seas, though teeming with life, were subject to fluctuations in sea levels and climate shifts that tested the resilience of its inhabitants. Yet it was this very dynamism that fueled evolutionary innovation. Life's ability to adapt to changing conditions is a testament to the tenacity inherent within the natural world. Reflecting upon these ancient oceans, we find ourselves contemplating the delicate balance that sustained such diversity. It was a dance between predator and prey, between the living and the inanimate, that created a symphony of existence. Each organism played its part, contributing to the stability and vitality of the marine ecosystems. The Devonian seas remind us of the intricate web of life, where the survival of one species often hinges upon the presence and health of another. As we leave the Devonian seas behind, their echoes linger in the present. These ancient waters set the stage for future evolutionary leaps and extinctions alike, shaping the world in ways both subtle and profound. The legacy of the Devonian period, with its flourishing fish and burgeoning reefs, serves as both a reminder and an inspiration. It is a narrative of resilience and adaptation, of life finding a way to thrive amidst the ever-changing tapestry of Earth's history. In this quiet reflection, we find ourselves drawn to the notion that extinction, though often a harbinger of loss, also sows the seeds for new beginnings. The Devonian seas, with their rich and vibrant life, exemplify this eternal cycle. They remind us that while the past is etched in stone, it is also a living story, one that continues to resonate through time and tide, shaping the world as we know it today. In the warmth of the Devonian seas, a world of color and vibrancy thrived beneath the waves. Coral reefs, those intricate underwater cities, teemed with life, forming a backbone of biodiversity in the ancient oceans. Fish of all shapes and sizes darted among the corals, while strange, shelled creatures called brachiopods and the spiral-shelled ammonites occupied the nooks and crannies. It was a time often referred to as the Age of Fishes, marked by the evolution of jawed vertebrates and a myriad of marine life forms. Yet, as we cast our minds back to this distant epoch, we must also acknowledge a gradual and profound transformation that was beginning to unfold. The Devonian period, stretching from around 419 to 309 million years ago, witnessed significant environmental changes that, over time, would spell doom for these thriving ecosystems. The once stable climate began to waver, and the reefs, so reliant on specific conditions, started to show signs of distress. The Devonian seas were not static. They were shaped by the slow dance of tectonic plates and the shifting of continents. This movement influenced ocean currents and, consequently, the distribution of nutrients and temperatures across the globe. As the land masses drifted, new mountain ranges emerged, altering the atmospheric circulation patterns. The result was a gradual cooling of the Earth's climate, a far cry from the stable conditions that had allowed the reefs to flourish. This cooling was not swift or dramatic, but rather a subtle shift that unfolded over millions of years. The temperature changes were enough to unsettle the delicate balance within the marine ecosystems. Corals, sensitive to even minor temperature fluctuations, began to suffer. Their symbiotic relationship with photosynthetic algae, a partnership that provided the corals with energy and their vibrant colors, became strained. As temperatures dropped, the algae struggled to survive, and the corals in turn weakened. Adding to the reef's woes was the changing chemistry of the oceans. The Devonian period saw fluctuations in sea levels, partly due to the growth and melting of ice sheets. When ice sheets expanded, they locked away large volumes of water, leading to a drop in sea levels. This exposed the continental shelves, which were home to many coral reefs, to the harshness of the atmosphere. When the ice melted, sea levels rose again, but the constant shifting wreaked havoc on the reef systems that required stability to thrive. The reefs were not only affected by physical changes, but also by biological ones. The Devonian period was a time of great evolutionary experimentation, with new species emerging and others fading away. The decline of stromatoporoids, a group of spongy, reef-building organisms, drastically altered the structure of the reefs. Their absence left gaps in the ecosystem that were not easily filled by other organisms, further destabilizing the delicate balance. Moreover, the increased weathering of newly formed mountains released nutrients into the oceans. While nutrients are essential for life, an excess can be detrimental. In the Devonian seas, this nutrient influx led to algal blooms, which in turn depleted oxygen levels in the water. The resultant hypoxic conditions created dead zones where marine life struggled to survive. The reefs, suffocated by the lack of oxygen, began to crumble, unable to support the vibrant life they once did. As we reflect on this long decline, it is important to consider the resilience of life amidst adversity. Despite the challenges, pockets of marine biodiversity persisted, finding refuge in areas where conditions remained favorable. The evolutionary pressure of a changing environment spurred the adaptation and emergence of new species, even as others disappeared. The Devonian extinction was not an abrupt event, but rather a drawn-out loss, a quiet fading of once dominant life forms. The reefs, which had stood as bastions of marine diversity, were among the most affected. Yet in their decline, they left behind a legacy of change, a testament to the dynamic interplay between life and the environment. In contemplating this ancient past, we are reminded of the delicate balance that sustains life on our planet. The Devonian reefs, with their slow demise, offer a poignant reflection on the impacts of climate shifts and environmental changes. They teach us about the fragility of ecosystems and the intricate connections that bind life to the world it inhabits. As we wander through the corridors of deep time, we carry forward the lessons of these ancient seas. The story of the Devonian reefs is not just one of loss, but also of transformation, a narrative that continues to unfold in the ever-changing tapestry of life on Earth. And so, we find ourselves drawn into a deeper understanding of our planet's history, a journey that invites us to ponder the forces that shape our world and the legacy we leave for the future. As we wander through the Devonian period, we find ourselves amidst a world that is both familiar and alien. The Earth, approximately 400 million years ago, was a place of lush verdance and burgeoning life, a stark contrast to the barren landscapes that had preceded it. This period, often referred to as the Age of Fishes, is also a time when plant life began to profoundly reshape our planet's atmosphere. It was a transformation as significant as any tectonic shift, yet it unfolded silently, leaf by leaf, across millennia. Imagine a land cloaked in green, a world where the first true forests took root. These early forests were predominantly composed of primitive plants such as lycophytes, horsetails, and ferns. Their ancestors had ventured onto land during the Silurian period, but it was in the Devonian that they truly flourished. This was a time of towering tree-like plants, some reaching heights of over 30 meters, a feat of nature that would have seemed impossible only a few million years prior. But how did these plants, silent and unassuming, become architects of the Earth's atmosphere? The answer lies in the fundamental process of photosynthesis. Through this remarkable biochemical magic, plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, a transaction that would irrevocably alter the composition of the air. In the Devonian, this process accelerated with the expansion of plant life, drawing down atmospheric carbon dioxide levels and enriching the atmosphere with oxygen. This was not merely a localized phenomenon. The proliferation of vascular plants created vast networks of roots, which stabilized soils and led to the formation of extensive wetlands. These environments sequestered carbon in the form of plant material, much of which was buried and eventually transformed into coal. The geological process of coal formation is a testament to the vast amounts of carbon that were locked away, reducing atmospheric greenhouse gases and cooling the planet. The implications of these changes were profound. As carbon dioxide levels fell, Earth's climate began to cool, a subtle shift at first, then more pronounced. The cooling climate may have contributed to the Devonian extinction events, a series of crises that gradually unfolded over millions of years. These extinctions were not abrupt cataclysms like the asteroid impact at the end of the Cretaceous. Rather, they were a drawn-out decline, a slow unwinding of life over eons. The cooling temperatures impacted marine ecosystems which were rich and diverse during the early and middle Devonian. Coral reefs, which had flourished in the warm, shallow seas, began to suffer as conditions became less hospitable. These reefs were the rainforests of the sea, teeming with life, and their decline signaled a broader loss of biodiversity. As the seas cooled, the chemistry of the oceans also shifted. The drop in carbon dioxide affected ocean acidity, influencing the ability of marine organisms to build calcium carbonate shells and skeletons. Yet, it is essential to remember that this transformation was not solely a tale of loss. The Devonian was also an era of innovation and adaptation. The cooling climate and changing atmospheric conditions provided new niches for life to explore. Land plants themselves evolved in response to these environmental pressures, developing seeds that allowed them to reproduce more effectively on land, spreading further and faster than ever before. In the shadow of these great changes, the seeds, both literal and metaphorical, of new ecosystems were sown. The Devonian set the stage for the future dominance of terrestrial life, laying the groundwork for the complex ecosystems that would follow in the Carboniferous period. The interplay between plant life and the atmosphere was a critical factor in this evolution, demonstrating the profound impact that life can have on the planet. As we contemplate this ancient world and the silent, relentless march of plant life, we are reminded of the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth. The Devonian extinction events, and the role of plants within them, offer a poignant lesson in the interconnectedness of life and the environment. It is a narrative of transformation and resilience, of endings that pave the way for new beginnings. In the whispers of the Devonian forests, we hear echoes of our own world, where the dance between plants and atmosphere continues to shape our climate and our future. As we walk through these ancient groves in our minds, we find ourselves humbled by the quiet power of life to change worlds, a power that began with the first leaf unfurling into sunlight. In the vast expanse of time, the late Devonian period stands as a chapter marked by a gradual yet profound transformation. It was a time when life, particularly within the oceans, faced a quiet and drawn-out decline, a subtle ebbing of diversity that unfolded over millions of years. Unlike the dramatic single-pulse events that would come to define other extinction periods, the changes during the late Devonian were more akin to a long, melancholic symphony, each note a small step towards a quieter world beneath the waves. The Devonian seas were once bustling with an astonishing variety of life. Often referred to as the Age of Fishes, this era saw the flourishing of jawed fish, early sharks, and the first appearance of lobe-finned fishes, which would eventually give rise to the first tetrapods. Coral reefs, then composed largely of stromatoporoids and tabulate corals, formed extensive structures that teemed with life, providing habitats for countless marine species. The seas were a vibrant tapestry of biological interactions, a dynamic dance of predators and prey, of symbiosis and competition. Yet, as the Devonian period progressed, subtle shifts began to disrupt this aquatic harmony. The decline in marine biodiversity was not the result of a single cataclysmic event, but rather an accumulation of environmental stresses that unfolded over a prolonged period. It was a death by 1,000 cuts, with each change nudging the ecosystem closer to instability. One of the key factors contributing to this decline was the alteration of climate, a slow cooling that began to affect oceanic conditions. As temperatures dropped, the chemistry of the oceans was altered, impacting the delicate balance of life. Coral reefs, particularly sensitive to changes in temperature and acidity, began to suffer, leading to a reduction in their extent and complexity. As reefs diminished, so too did the myriad forms of life that depended on them for shelter and sustenance. The expansion of plant life on land also played a significant role. With the proliferation of vascular plants, the weathering of rocks increased, leading to an influx of nutrients into the oceans. This nutrient enrichment, while seemingly beneficial, sparked episodes of eutrophication, where excessive nutrients caused algal blooms that depleted oxygen levels in the water. These hypoxic conditions, particularly in shallow marine environments, created dead zones where only the hardiest of species could survive. Moreover, the Devonian seas faced episodes of anoxia, where oxygen levels in the deeper ocean layers dropped significantly. This lack of oxygen, driven by the changing chemistry of the seas and possibly linked to the activity of microbes that thrived in low oxygen environments, placed additional stress on marine life. Species that could not adapt to these low oxygen conditions faced decline or extinction, further reducing the complexity of marine ecosystems. The decline in biodiversity was also marked by the loss of the placoderms, a group of armored fish that once dominated the seas. Their extinction marked a significant shift in marine ecosystems as they were replaced by more modern groups of fish. This transition, while eventually leading to the diversification of new species, was a process that took millions of years, during which the overall diversity of marine life was significantly reduced. Throughout this drawn-out decline, the Devonian seas witnessed a gradual simplification of ecosystems. The intricate web of interactions that had characterized these environments slowly unraveled, leaving behind a less diverse and less resilient community of organisms. It was a world that had lost much of its splendor, a quieter, more subdued version of its former self. Yet, even in this quiet decline, there were the seeds of future resilience. The species that survived the late Devonian extinction were those that could adapt to the changing conditions, those that could endure the long periods of low oxygen and fluctuating temperatures. These survivors would go on to form the backbone of future marine ecosystems, paving the way for new evolutionary pathways and the eventual resurgence of diversity. As we reflect on the drawn-out loss of marine diversity during the late Devonian, we are reminded of the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth. The changes that occurred over millions of years serve as a testament to the resilience and adaptability of life, even in the face of prolonged adversity. In this quiet chapter of Earth's history, we find lessons about the interconnectedness of life and the enduring impact of environmental change, a theme that resonates through time, echoing into our own era. Before we delve into the heart of one of Earth's most profound transitions, let us pause for a moment and picture a world unfamiliar to modern eyes, yet foundational to all that came after. It is the late Permian period, around 252 million years ago. The Earth is a singular, sprawling landmass known as Pangaea, surrounded by a vast ocean named Panthalassa. This supercontinent, stretching from pole to pole, offers an extraordinary variety of climates and landscapes, from arid deserts to lush forests, creating a tapestry of life that thrives in its own unique niches. In the southern hemisphere, the land is dominated by expansive deserts, where the sun beats down relentlessly, yet life finds a way in these harsh conditions. The Gorgonopsians, a group of theropsid reptiles, prowl these arid expanses. With their saber-like teeth and powerful limbs, they are the apex predators of their time, embodying both the strength and adaptability of life during this era. Moving towards the equator, the climate shifts to warm and humid, supporting dense forests and teeming with life. Amongst the towering trees, which are a mix of conifers and seed ferns, insects buzz and flit, their wings catching the dappled sunlight. Here, small herbivorous reptiles, such as the dicynodonts, graze the underbrush, their tusks and beaked mouths adept at stripping foliage. These creatures, with their varied diet and sturdy build, are symbols of resilience and evolutionary success. Beneath the canopy, the Earth is alive with a myriad of smaller creatures, from early amphibians to primitive insects, each playing a role in this complex ecosystem. The diversity of life is staggering, a testament to millions of years of evolution and adaptation. This world, though ancient, is bustling, vibrant, and full of potential. Along the coastal edges of Pangaea, the marine environment is equally rich and varied. The shallow seas are dotted with coral reefs, constructed not by corals as we know them today, but by sponges and algae. These reefs are vibrant underwater metropolises, bustling with activity and life. Shoals of fish navigate through the coral, their scales shimmering in the filtered light. Among them are the ancestors of modern sharks, sleek and efficient predators that have already carved a niche in the ocean's food web. In deeper waters, the ancient predecessors of squid and octopus glide silently, their soft bodies and tentacles a marvel of evolutionary design. The sea floor is a patchwork of life, with brachiopods and trilobites scuttling along, feeding on detritus and avoiding the ever-watchful eyes of predatory fish. This world, complex and interconnected, is one of equilibrium. The ecosystems, both terrestrial and marine, operate in a delicate balance, each species, no matter how small, playing a role in maintaining the health of the environment. It is a world that has seen change and adaptation, yet one that feels stable and enduring. However, beneath this surface of abundance and diversity, subtle shifts are beginning to stir. Geological forces, relentless and indifferent, are at work. The vast interior of Pangaea, far from the moderating influence of the ocean, experiences extreme seasonal variations, placing pressures on land-dwelling species. In the oceans, changes in currents and chemistry hint at disruptions to come. Yet for now, life thrives. The Permian world is a testament to the resilience and adaptability of life, showcasing the myriad forms it can take and environments it can conquer. This period is an intricate chapter in Earth's history, a time when life is both familiar in its forms and alien in its diversity. As we reflect on this world, it is difficult not to feel a sense of awe at the complexity and beauty of life that existed so long ago. The ecosystems of the late Permian are a reminder of nature's capacity for innovation and the intricate interdependencies that sustain it. It is a world on the cusp of change, poised at the brink of what will become the most profound extinction event in Earth's history. In this moment, let us appreciate the tapestry of life as it was, understanding that these ancient landscapes laid the groundwork for the world we inhabit today. The story of the Permian is not just one of loss and transformation, but also of the enduring spirit of life, ever adapting, ever evolving, in the face of inevitable change. In the vast tapestry of Earth's history, there are moments when the planet itself seems to take a deep, calamitous breath. One such moment unfolded over 250 million years ago, during the Permian-Triassic period, a time when the world was poised on the brink of its most profound extinction event. This chapter delves into the heart of that ancient crisis, driven by the colossal volcanic activity in what is now Siberia. Imagine, if you will, the landscape of Siberia not as the icy expanse we know today, but as a region roiling with volcanic fury. This was a time when the Earth's crust was tearing itself apart, releasing unfathomable quantities of molten rock in a volcanic episode that would come to be known as the Siberian Traps. These volcanic eruptions were not the fleeting displays we associate with modern-day volcanoes. Instead, they were a geological cataclysm, enduring for hundreds of thousands of years, if not longer. The scale of this volcanic activity was staggering. As molten rock poured from the fissures, it spread across the landscape, creating expansive plateaus of basalt. It is estimated that the lava flows covered an area of over 2 million square kilometers, an expanse nearly the size of Western Europe. But it was not merely the volume of lava that was of concern. It was the profound impact these eruptions had on the Earth's climate and biosphere. With the lava came an immense release of volcanic gases, including carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. These gases transformed the atmosphere, initiating a cascade of environmental changes. The sulfur dioxide formed aerosols in the upper atmosphere, reflecting sunlight and causing a temporary cooling effect. Yet, this was soon overshadowed by the long-term warming driven by carbon dioxide, leading to a greenhouse effect that would elevate global temperatures significantly. This warming had devastating consequences for life on Earth. It disrupted ocean currents and weather patterns, leading to a stagnant, anoxic ocean where life struggled to survive. The lack of oxygen in the oceans, combined with the acidification caused by increased carbon dioxide levels, created inhospitable conditions for marine life. Coral reefs, which had been thriving ecosystems, began to die off, and countless marine species vanished. On land, the picture was equally grim. The rapid climate change resulted in arid conditions, transforming lush landscapes into deserts. The ecosystems that had supported a diverse range of life forms began to collapse. Forests withered, and the creatures that depended on them faced extinction. The biosphere was in turmoil, and it is estimated that over 90% of all species perished during this period, earning it the moniker, the Great Dying. The implications of the Siberian volcanism were not only immediate but also long-lasting. The recovery from this extinction event was painfully slow, taking millions of years for life to rebound and diversify once more. It was a poignant reminder of the Earth's capacity for dramatic change and the delicate balance upon which life depends. As we reflect on the Siberian Traps, we are reminded of the interplay between geology and biology, how the very processes that shape the Earth can also test the resilience of life. This chapter serves as a meditation on the forces that have sculpted our planet, forces that continue to hold sway, albeit often imperceptibly, in the present day. In considering these ancient volcanic eruptions, we also find ourselves contemplating the nature of crises and recovery. The Earth's history is punctuated by such events, each leaving its indelible mark, each a testament to both destruction and renewal. While the Siberian volcanism represents a period of profound loss, it also set the stage for new evolutionary pathways, paving the way for the rise of the dinosaurs and, ultimately, the mammals that would follow. Thus, the story of Siberian volcanism is one of paradox of life and death, of endings and beginnings. It invites us to ponder the resilience of life and the intricate dance of the Earth's systems. As we continue our exploration of this ancient world, let us carry with us the understanding that Earth's history is a tapestry of interwoven events, each contributing to the rich diversity of life we see today. In this reflection, we find a quiet reminder of our place within the broader narrative of life on this remarkable planet. In the quietude of our planet's deep past, there existed a world teetering on the brink of profound change. The Permian-Triassic event, often referred to as the Great Dying, marks the most severe extinction episode recorded in Earth's history. As we journey through this chapter, we are drawn into a planet in crisis, exploring the intimate details of its suffocating atmosphere and the struggles of its vast oceans. Our story begins with the decline of atmospheric oxygen, a slow, inexorable process that reshaped the living world. During the late Permian period, approximately 252 million years ago, the Earth was a realm of lush forests and teeming seas. Yet, beneath this veneer of vitality, a hidden shift was occurring. Oxygen levels in the atmosphere, once stable, began to falter. From an estimated 30%, a figure that had allowed life to flourish in its myriad forms, oxygen levels plummeted to a mere 15% by the close of the Permian. This dramatic decline had far-reaching implications for life on Earth. For organisms accustomed to rich, oxygenated environments, the transition was catastrophic. Breathing became a struggle. Metabolic processes faltered. The mighty forests that had dominated the land began to wither, their once thriving ecosystems collapsing into silence. In the seas, the effects were equally devastating. Marine animals, especially those requiring high levels of oxygen, faced a dire challenge. The oceans, once vibrant with life, were now arenas of survival, where only the hardiest could endure. The causes of this oxygen decline are complex, intertwined with volcanic activity on a scale that defies imagination. The Siberian Traps, a vast region of volcanic rock in present-day Russia, erupted with unparalleled ferocity. Over a period of around 2 million years, these eruptions spewed vast quantities of lava and gases into the atmosphere. Among these gases was carbon dioxide, released in such volumes that it altered the very fabric of the planet's climate. As carbon dioxide levels surged, a greenhouse effect ensued, trapping heat and driving global temperatures upwards. This warming, however, was not uniform. It induced a stratification in the oceans, a layering effect that stifled the natural mixing of surface and deep waters. Without this mixing, oxygen could not readily penetrate the ocean depths. The result was a cascade of anoxic conditions, a dearth of oxygen in the water columns, which rendered vast swaths of the ocean inhospitable. Alongside the declining oxygen levels, the ocean's chemistry was undergoing another transformation: acidification. The infusion of carbon dioxide into the oceans created carbonic acid, which lowered the pH levels of the seawater. This acidification posed a grave threat to marine life, particularly those with calcium carbonate shells or skeletons, such as corals and certain mollusks. These organisms, crucial to the marine food web and ecosystem structure, found their very existence under threat. As the oceans turned more acidic, The once thriving coral reefs, the rainforests of the sea, began to dissolve. These reefs, which had supported an abundance of marine life, were now barren landscapes, their vibrant ecosystems reduced to skeletal remains. The ripple effects of this acidification were felt throughout the marine environment, leading to declines in biodiversity and shifts in species composition. Yet, amid this tumult, the resilience of life endured. Some species adapted to the changing conditions, finding niches in which they could survive. These resilient organisms would become the ancestors of future marine life, carrying forward the legacy of survival through adaptability. Reflecting on this period, we are reminded of the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth. The interplay between atmospheric gases, ocean chemistry, and biological processes is a testament to the complexity of our planet's systems. The lessons of the Permian-Triassic event echo through time, offering insights into the potential consequences of our own actions today. As we ponder these ancient times, we are left to consider the remarkable ability of life to persist, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. The story of collapsing oxygen levels and acidifying oceans is one of both loss and resilience, a chapter in Earth's history that continues to inform our understanding of the planet's capacity for change and renewal. As we turn our gaze to the aftermath of the Permian-Triassic extinction, often referred to as the Great Dying, we find ourselves contemplating a world in the throes of quiet renewal. This cataclysmic event, occurring approximately 252 million years ago, decimated nearly 96% of marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrates. In its wake, the Earth stood as a testament to the fragility of life and the resilience of nature. Yet, from this devastating loss, emerged the delicate shoots of recovery as life began its arduous journey back from the brink. In a world stripped bare, the early Triassic period presented a canvas of both stark desolation and burgeoning potential. The seas, once teeming with a rich diversity of life, had been reduced to vast expanses of emptiness. It was here, in these diminished waters, that the first signs of life's resurgence began to appear. Among the survivors were the ammonites, tenacious mollusks with intricately coiled shells, who managed to endure the harsh conditions and slowly diversify. These creatures, along with a few other hardy survivors, formed the foundation for a new marine ecosystem. On land, the story was much the same. The dominant synapsids, such as the mighty Gorgonopsians, had vanished, leaving a void in the terrestrial food chain. In their absence, a remarkable group of archosaurs began to rise to prominence. These early relatives of crocodiles and birds adapted to fill the ecological niches left vacant by the extinction. Their success was a testament to the adaptability of life. Evolution, it seems, thrives on opportunity as much as it does on competition. Yet, the road to recovery was not a swift one. The climate, still reeling from the effects of massive volcanic eruptions in Siberia, remained volatile and inhospitable. The atmosphere was laden with carbon dioxide, leading to a prolonged period of global warming. This climatic instability hindered the re-establishment of complex ecosystems, creating a world where life had to continually adapt to survive. The early Triassic ecosystem was thus characterized by low diversity and high turnover, a testament to the ongoing struggle for survival. Despite these challenges, the seeds of innovation were being sown. One notable development was the emergence of the first true mammals. These small nocturnal creatures, descendants of therapsids, began to carve out a niche in the shadows of the night. Their evolution marked a pivotal moment in the history of life, laying the groundwork for the mammalian dominance that would eventually follow. In the oceans, meanwhile, the recovery was bolstered by the rise of new reef-building organisms. The coral-like structures of the early Triassic were composed not of the corals we know today, but of different organisms such as sponges and algae. These new reefs provided habitats for a growing array of marine life, gradually restoring the complexity that had been lost. It was a slow process, but one that underscored the resilience of life in the face of adversity. As the Triassic period progressed, life began to stabilize. By the middle of the period, ecosystems were becoming more complex and robust. The first dinosaurs made their tentative appearance, small and fleet-footed, exploring the new world that was gradually taking shape. Their rise would herald the dawn of a new era, but for now, they were just another group vying for survival in a recovering world. The story of life's resurgence after the Permian-Triassic extinction is one of remarkable persistence. It is a narrative that reminds us of the inherent tenacity of living organisms, capable of weathering even the most severe of environmental upheavals. Through the lens of deep time, we see a pattern of extinction and recovery, a cycle that has played out repeatedly over the course of Earth's history. This slow, deliberate march towards biodiversity and complexity reveals much about the nature of evolution itself. It is not merely a process of survival of the fittest, but also one of creativity and adaptation. Species that once thrived adapt to new roles or are replaced by others more suited to the changed world. The aftermath of the Great Dying was a crucible of innovation, a time when the building blocks of future life were being assembled in the shadows of a fallen world. In reflecting upon this period, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of life and the environments it inhabits. The Earth, though seemingly indifferent, provides the stage upon which the drama of existence unfolds. As ecosystems collapsed and reformed, the planet itself was reshaping, setting the stage for new chapters in the history of life. The lessons from this ancient struggle echo through time, offering insights into our own world's challenges. As we face the specter of climate change and biodiversity loss, the resilience and adaptability of life offer a glimmer of hope. Just as life emerged from the ashes of the Great Dying, so too can it adapt to the trials of the present. In this quiet reflection on a world reborn, we find both a cautionary tale and a source of inspiration. Life, in all its forms, is a testament to the enduring power of nature's creativity, a force as relentless as the passage of time itself. Through the lens of extinction and recovery, we glimpse the profound beauty and complexity of the living world, a tapestry woven from threads of both loss and renewal. As we drift through the corridors of deep time, we find ourselves in a world vastly different from our own, a time so ancient that it seems almost beyond comprehension. This was the late Triassic period, roughly 201 million years ago. The Earth was a place of dramatic transformation, a time when the planet's surface was a shifting, restless landscape. The continents were beginning to drift apart, part of a slow but inexorable dance that would shape the future of life on Earth. In this era, the supercontinent Pangaea was starting to fracture. The forces of tectonic motion, invisible yet immensely powerful, were tearing it asunder. This process was not a gentle one. Rather, it was marked by a series of violent geological upheavals. Rift valleys, vast chasms in the Earth's crust, opened as the land masses pulled away from one another. These valleys were not mere scars upon the surface, but rather the birthplaces of new oceans and seas. This splitting of continents was accompanied by a surge in volcanic activity. The Earth, it seemed, was venting its inner heat with great vigor. Volcanoes erupted along these newly formed rifts, spewing lava and ash into the atmosphere. The Central Atlantic Magmatic Province, a vast expanse of volcanic rock, was born from these cataclysmic outpourings. It remains one of the largest volcanic events in Earth's history, a testament to the planet's fiery temperament. This volcanic activity had profound implications for life on Earth. The gases released by these eruptions, particularly carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide, altered the composition of the atmosphere. The former contributed to a warming climate, while the latter could have caused short-term cooling by reflecting sunlight away from the Earth. This combination of warming and cooling, a climatological tug-of-war, created an unstable environment for the planet's inhabitants. The marine ecosystems were perhaps the most affected by these changes. The oceans, already struggling with the shifting climates, had to contend with the increased levels of carbon dioxide. This gas, when absorbed by seawater, forms carbonic acid, leading to ocean acidification. The delicate balance of the ocean's chemistry was disrupted, affecting organisms that relied on calcium carbonate for their shells and skeletons. Coral reefs, which had been thriving during the Triassic period, suffered immensely. These vibrant underwater cities, teeming with life, began to decline, their structures unable to withstand the changing chemical makeup of the seas. On land, the impact of these geological and climatic changes was equally profound. The fluctuating climates and volcanic activity would have affected vegetation, altering the landscapes that various terrestrial creatures called home. The herbivorous dinosaurs, already small in number compared to their later Jurassic counterparts, faced challenges in finding suitable habitats and food sources. The shifting environment demanded adaptability, a trait that not all species possessed. It was in this volatile world that the seeds of future ecosystems were inadvertently sown. As some species struggled and dwindled, others found opportunities to thrive in the new conditions. This period of instability, though destructive, was also a crucible for evolution. The organisms that could adapt to the rapidly changing environment would come to dominate in the epochs that followed. Yet, in the midst of this upheaval, one cannot help but ponder the sheer resilience of life. Despite the odds, despite the cataclysms that threatened to wipe the slate clean, life persisted. It adapted, evolved, and diversified, finding ways to survive even in the harshest of conditions. The end. Triassic extinction, like those before and after, served as both a challenge and a catalyst for evolution. As we reflect on this ancient world of rift valleys and volcanic tumult, we are reminded of the Earth's dynamic nature. The geological forces that shaped the Triassic landscape continue to mold our planet today, albeit on timescales that often elude our everyday perception. The Earth's crust is still a patchwork of tectonic plates, shifting and colliding in a slow and deliberate dance. Volcanoes still dot the landscape, reminders of the fiery forces beneath our feet. This chapter in Earth's history, though long past, echoes into our present, reminding us of the interconnectedness of life and the environment. It prompts us to consider how modern-day changes, both natural and anthropogenic, might shape the future of our own world. As we continue to explore these ancient extinctions, we gain not only insight into the past, but also a perspective on the resilience and adaptability of life in the face of adversity. In the grand sweep of Earth's geological history, the supercontinent Pangaea stands as one of the most remarkable configurations of land. It was a vast assembly, a single enormous landmass that gathered nearly all of the Earth's continents into one. This monumental structure existed for millions of years, but, as with all things, change was inevitable. The gradual breakup of Pangaea, occurring approximately 200 million years ago, was a profound event that reshaped the planet's geography and set the stage for significant ecological transformations. The disintegration of Pangaea was not a sudden event. It was a slow, almost imperceptible process that unfolded over tens of millions of years. Beneath the surface, tectonic forces were at work, driven by the relentless movement of the Earth's mantle. These forces gradually pulled the supercontinent apart, creating rift valleys that would eventually give rise to the Atlantic Ocean. As these rifts widened, they altered global sea levels and ocean currents, leading to widespread changes in climate and habitat. The breakup of Pangaea was not just a geological marvel, it had profound implications for life on Earth. As the continents drifted apart, the ecosystems they harbored were subjected to new and challenging conditions. The formation of new coastlines and the opening of seaways led to changes in ocean circulation patterns, which in turn affected global climate systems. These shifts were not uniform. Some regions experienced cooling, while others became warmer. Such climatic variability placed immense stress on the organisms that inhabited these environments. The impact on marine life, in particular, was significant. The fragmentation of Pangaea disrupted the vast marine ecosystems that had once thrived along its coasts. Large-scale extinctions occurred in the oceans, particularly affecting those species that were highly specialized and unable to adapt to the rapidly changing conditions. Coral reefs, which had flourished in the warm, shallow seas of the Triassic, suffered greatly. The changes in ocean chemistry and temperature created inhospitable conditions for these delicate structures, leading to their decline. On land, the breakup of Pangaea led to the formation of new mountain ranges and basins, further altering habitats. This period was marked by increased volcanic activity, particularly around the rift zones. The volcanic eruptions released vast quantities of carbon dioxide and other gases into the atmosphere, contributing to a greenhouse effect that further exacerbated climatic shifts. The combination of habitat fragmentation and climatic stressors proved too much for many terrestrial species, leading to a decline in biodiversity. Yet, amidst this upheaval, life continued to find a way. The breakup of Pangaea opened up new ecological niches, and those species that could adapt to the changing conditions found opportunities for diversification. Early dinosaurs, for instance, began to rise in prominence during this time, taking advantage of the vacant ecological roles left by extinct species. Their ability to thrive in a variety of environments allowed them to become one of the dominant groups of the Mesozoic era. Reflecting on the breakup of Pangaea, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of Earth's systems. The movement of tectonic plates, the climate, and the biosphere are all linked in a complex web of interactions. Changes in one aspect can have cascading effects on others, as evidenced by the profound ecological shifts that accompanied the breakup of the supercontinent. As we consider the implications of Pangaea's breakup, we are also reminded of the resilience of life. Although the process led to significant extinctions, it also paved the way for new forms of life to emerge. This duality of destruction and creation is a recurring theme in Earth's history, one that highlights the dynamic nature of our planet. In our modern world, we are witnessing changes in climate and ecosystems that echo those of the past, albeit at a much faster pace. The lessons of Pangaea's breakup remind us of the importance of understanding these processes and the need for stewardship of our planet's resources. Just as the ancient supercontinent's dissolution led to profound transformations, so too can our actions today influence the future of life on Earth. The story of Pangaea's breakup is a tale of both loss and opportunity. It is a poignant reminder of the ever-changing nature of our world and the resilience of life in the face of adversity. As we continue to explore the mysteries of Earth's past, we gain valuable insights into the forces that have shaped our planet and the resilience required to navigate its future. In the quiet aftermath of the end Triassic extinction, Earth found itself in a state of flux. The planet was slowly recovering from a series of calamitous events that had reshaped its ecosystems, leaving a world markedly different from what had existed before. This was a world where life had been stripped back, its diversity diminished, and its complexity reduced. In this emptier world, however, lay the seeds of a new dawn, one that would eventually lead to the rise of the dinosaurs. Initially, the landscape in the wake of the end Triassic extinction was both a monument to survival and a testament to loss. Vast stretches of land, once teeming with a multitude of species, now lay silent, disrupted by the chaotic forces of volcanic activity and climate change that had beset the planet. The breakup of the supercontinent Pangaea had set tectonic plates into motion, creating new ocean basins and mountain ranges, while volcanic eruptions had filled the skies with ash and gases, altering the climate in ways that many species could not withstand. Yet, within this stark tableau, life persisted. The survivors, those species that had managed to endure the trials of extinction, found themselves in an environment ripe for colonization. Among these resilient creatures were the early archosaurs, a group that included the ancestors of dinosaurs. These archosaurs were well adapted to the changing conditions, possessing traits that would allow them to exploit the vacated ecological niches left by the extinction event. The early dinosaurs, emerging from the lineage of these archosaurs, were relatively small and bipedal, a far cry from the colossal forms they would evolve into. Their size was an advantage in this new world, allowing them to move quickly and efficiently in search of food and shelter. They were opportunistic feeders, able to survive on a varied diet that included plants, insects, and smaller vertebrates. This adaptability was crucial in an environment where resources were sparse and competition was fierce. As the Triassic period gave way to the Jurassic, the climate began to stabilize. The intense volcanic activity that had characterized the end of the Triassic started to wane, and with it, the extreme fluctuations in temperature and atmospheric composition. The Earth entered a phase of relative climatic stability, providing a more predictable environment for life to flourish once more. This stability allowed plant life to recover, leading to the spread of lush vegetation that would provide ample resources for herbivorous species. The dinosaurs, with their diverse range of feeding strategies and flexible body plans, were uniquely positioned to take advantage of these changes. Herbivorous species, like the early sauropodomorphs, found an abundance of ferns, cycads, and conifers, which thrived in the warm, humid climate. Meanwhile, carnivorous dinosaurs, including the ancestors of the mighty theropods, had a growing selection of prey animals to choose from, including other reptiles and early mammals. It was during this period that dinosaurs began to diversify and specialize, evolving into a wide array of forms that would dominate the terrestrial ecosystems of the Mesozoic era. Their success was not merely a result of their physical adaptations, but also of their evolutionary innovations. For instance, the development of air-filled bones allowed many species to grow larger without becoming too heavy, a trait that would be exemplified by the gigantic sauropods of the later Jurassic and Cretaceous periods. Moreover, the dinosaurs' reproductive strategies played a crucial role in their ascendancy. By laying eggs, they could produce numerous offspring, increasing the likelihood of survival for at least some of the next generation in this unpredictable world. This reproductive flexibility enabled them to recover swiftly from environmental stresses and to colonize a variety of habitats, from dense forests to arid deserts. The rise of the dinosaurs was not an overnight event, but a gradual process spanning millions of years. It was a testament to the resilience and adaptability of life on Earth, an illustration of how extinction events, while catastrophic, can also create opportunities for new forms of life to emerge and thrive. The dinosaurs, in filling the ecological niches left empty by the end Triassic extinction, exemplified this concept of renewal and transformation. In reflecting on this era, we are reminded of the delicate balance between destruction and creation that characterizes the history of life on our planet. The early dinosaurs, in their emergence and eventual dominance, underscore the idea that even in the face of great loss, life finds a way to persevere and adapt, constantly reshaping the tapestry of existence. As we ponder their journey, we gain insight into the intricate dance of survival and adaptation that has shaped the Earth's biological legacy. In the wake of the end Triassic extinction, the world stood on the precipice of a new era. The Earth, once tumultuous and battered by relentless environmental upheavals, began a slow and steady journey towards equilibrium. It was a time of transformation and adaptation, where life, once teetering on the brink of annihilation, embarked on a path of cautious recovery. As we lean into this narrative, imagine for a moment the landscapes of the early Jurassic period. The world was still quivering from the aftershocks of volcanic activity that had fractured the supercontinent of Pangaea. Vast rift valleys, where tectonic plates had torn apart, dotted the Earth's surface. These scars of the planet's restless past became cradles of regeneration. With each passing millennium, new life found its footing in the fertile soils and temperate climates that emerged from the fractured land. In these new environments, the ecosystems began to stabilize, not abruptly, but with a gentle persistence. The air, once thick with the acrid fumes of volcanic eruptions, gradually cleared. The skies grew tranquil, allowing sunlight to pierce through and nurture the resurgence of plant life. Ferns, cycads, and conifers spread across the landscapes, establishing the foundations for food chains that would support a burgeoning diversity of life. Among the most remarkable developments during this time was the proliferation of the early dinosaurs. These creatures, having survived the cataclysmic events that wiped out their competitors, began to flourish in the open niches left vacant by extinction. Unlike their lumbering predecessors, these emerging dinosaurs displayed adaptability and versatility. Their ability to thrive in varied environments, from lush forests to arid plains, ensured their dominance for millions of years to come. The gradual stabilization of ecosystems was not solely a terrestrial phenomenon. In the oceans, life too began to reclaim its territory. The marine world, previously devastated by acidification and oxygen depletion, saw a resurgence of coral reefs. These underwater structures, built painstakingly by tiny polyps, created complex habitats teeming with life. Fish, crustaceans, and mollusks found refuge and sustenance in these burgeoning marine ecosystems, contributing to the overall recovery of biodiversity. It is important to appreciate the nuances of this recovery. The resurgence of life did not follow a predetermined script, nor was it uniform across the globe. It was a patchwork of progress, with different regions experiencing varying rates of ecological stability. In some areas, the scars of extinction lingered longer, while in others, life rebounded with surprising vigor. This unevenness was a testament to the intricate interplay between biology and geology, where each local condition shaped the path of evolution. The slow march towards ecological stabilization brought with it evolutionary experimentation. As niches opened and closed, life was afforded the opportunity to explore new strategies for survival. This period witnessed an explosion of diversity in forms and functions, a creative burst that would, in time, lead to the emergence of iconic Jurassic species. The evolutionary canvas, once wiped nearly clean by extinction, was now being painted anew with the strokes of resilience and adaptation. Yet, this recovery was not without its challenges. The Earth remained a dynamic system, with climate oscillations and geological activities continuing to shape the environment. Ecosystems that had begun to stabilize could still be disrupted by shifts in temperature or sea levels. The adaptability of life was constantly tested, prompting species to either innovate or face obsolescence. As we reflect on this chapter of Earth's history, we find ourselves marveling at the resilience inherent in life. The end Triassic extinction had been a profound test, one that threatened to erase the biological progress of eons. Yet, from the ashes of devastation, life emerged, determined to reclaim its place on this blue planet. The gradual stabilization of ecosystems was a testament to the enduring spirit of nature, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, life finds a way to persist and thrive. In our contemplation, we might draw parallels to our present day. The lessons of the past echo into our current era, urging us to consider our role as stewards of this fragile world. Just as the ancient ecosystems required time and favorable conditions to heal and flourish, so too does our modern environment demand care and consideration. The gradual stabilization of ecosystems after the end Triassic extinction invites us to ponder the balance between destruction and renewal, a cycle as old as time itself. Thus, as we conclude this reflection, let us carry with us the understanding that the history of life is not merely a record of survival, but a narrative of resilience. Each chapter, including the one we inhabit today, is part of a continuum where life, in its myriad forms, dances on the edge of change, ever seeking equilibrium in a world that is forever in flux. In the twilight of the Cretaceous period, some 66 million years ago, Earth was a canvas painted with vibrant hues of life. A warm, lush world stretched itself under the expansive sky, a world that had long settled into a dynamic equilibrium. It was a planet teeming with diversity, where ecosystems flourished and life painted the landscape with color and sound. Forests of towering conifers and flowering plants spread across continents, their leaves whispering secrets to the breeze. The air was thick with the hum of insects, the undisputed rulers of the terrestrial realm, their delicate wings catching the sunlight in fleeting flashes of iridescence. This was a time when the angiosperms, the flowering plants, were in full bloom, having emerged a few million years earlier. Their flowers not only added beauty to the landscape, but also played a pivotal role in the evolution of the ecosystems by offering nectar and pollen to a myriad of creatures. In the canopy above, small mammals scurried, their furry forms darting between branches in a dance of survival and curiosity. These early mammals, though still modest in size, were quietly setting the stage for a future they could scarcely imagine. On the forest floor, small lizards basked in the warmth of the sun, while the underbrush rustled with the movement of more elusive creatures. The skies were the domain of the pterosaurs, magnificent winged reptiles that soared gracefully above the earth. Some, like the Quetzalcoatlus, were as large as small aircraft, their wingspans reaching up to 11 meters. These aerial giants patrolled the skies, their keen eyes scanning the earth below for any signs of prey or carrion. Yet, it was the dinosaurs who truly defined this era, their reign an epoch of grandeur. From the massive, long-necked sauropods grazing on the treetops to the stealthy raptors prowling the undergrowth, dinosaurs had diversified into a plethora of forms. The Tyrannosaurus rex, with its formidable presence, roamed the land as an apex predator, its very name evoking a sense of awe and respect. Meanwhile, herbivorous herds of Triceratops moved across the plains, their three-horned faces a testament to nature's inventiveness in the evolutionary arms race. The oceans, too, were alive with wonders. Vast and deep, they were home to a rich tapestry of life. The mosasaurs, marine reptiles of impressive size, glided through the waters with a predatory grace, while the plesiosaurs, with their distinctive long necks, hunted in the shallows. Schools of fish darted in synchronized movements, a shimmering display beneath the sunlit waves. Ammonites, with their spiral shells, drifted through the seas, their lineage tracing back hundreds of millions of years. Coral reefs flourished in the warm, shallow waters, their vibrant colors, a testament to the symbiotic relationships between coral polyps and the algae living within them. These reefs, bustling with life, were akin to bustling cities, each niche filled with creatures both great and small. Crustaceans scuttled across the sandy seabeds, their movements precise and purposeful, while sea turtles navigated the currents with timeless grace. The climate of the Cretaceous was generally warmer and more humid than today, with no polar ice caps to speak of. This allowed the seas to rise higher, creating shallow inland seas that divided continents and formed unique marine environments. The Western Interior Seaway, for example, split North America into eastern and western landmasses, its waters teeming with life. This was a world in balance, a tapestry woven over millions of years through the threads of evolution and adaptation. The biosphere was a complex web, each species playing its part in the grand symphony of life. Yet, unbeknownst to its inhabitants, this vibrant world rested on the brink of profound change. The Cretaceous period, with its remarkable diversity, was a testament to the resilience and adaptability of life. It was a chapter in Earth's history defined by both stability and transformation. As we reflect on this epoch, we are reminded of the intricate connections that bind life together, and how the threads of existence are interwoven in ways both seen and unseen. In the quiet moments before dawn, as the creatures of this past world stirred and the first light touched the earth, there was a sense of continuity, a belief that the world would continue as it always had. But nature, in her infinite complexity, is full of surprises, and even the most robust systems are not immune to the forces of change. As we stand on the precipice of this narrative, we are drawn into a deeper understanding of the fragility and tenacity of life, a story that is as much about endings as it is about new beginnings. In the tranquil embrace of the Cretaceous period around 66 million years ago, Earth's biosphere was a tapestry of lush, vibrant life. Dinosaurs roamed vast plains and dense forests, while the skies were filled with the graceful flight of pterosaurs. The land was lush, and the seas teemed with ancient forms, a vivid tableau of natural splendor. However, this dynamic world was about to be irrevocably altered by a cosmic visitor, a massive asteroid, approximately 10 kilometers in diameter, traveling at a speed of around 20 kilometers per second, destined to collide with Earth. As the asteroid hurtled through space, its course set on a collision with our planet, it was likely an unremarkable object in the vastness of the cosmos. Yet, its impact would unleash one of the most dramatic episodes in Earth's history. The site of this cataclysmic event would be what we now know as the Yucatan Peninsula in modern-day Mexico, specifically a region called Chicxulub. The energy released upon impact was equivalent to billions of atomic bombs, a force so immense that it defies the imagination. The moment the asteroid struck, the surface of the Earth experienced a violent upheaval. The kinetic energy of the impact was converted almost instantaneously into heat, leading to the vaporization of rock and the creation of a vast crater over 150 kilometers wide. The immediate vicinity was incinerated, and the shock waves from the impact rippled outwards, triggering earthquakes and volcanic eruptions across the globe. It was as if the planet itself had been struck by a colossal hammer, resonating with the force of the blow. But perhaps the most devastating consequence of this celestial collision was not the initial impact itself, but the global firestorms that followed. The energy released was sufficient to send vast quantities of debris and molten rock high into the atmosphere. As these fragments re-entered the atmosphere, they heated up due to friction, effectively turning the sky into an oven. The intense heat from this re-entry ignited fires across the planet, scorching forests and grasslands, and wrapping the Earth in a mantle of flames. The fires consumed vast tracts of vegetation, releasing massive amounts of soot and ash into the atmosphere. This, combined with the dust and sulfur aerosols from the impact, obscured the sun and plunged the Earth into darkness. This impact winter would have lasted for months, if not years, significantly disrupting photosynthesis. The resulting collapse of food chains was catastrophic, particularly for the large dinosaurs that were unable to find sufficient food. The global temperatures plummeted, and the climate shifted with a suddenness that left many species unable to adapt. The combination of darkness, cold, and lack of food created a cascade of extinction events. While the dinosaurs are the most famous victims, many other groups suffered as well, including marine reptiles, numerous plant species, and countless microorganisms that formed the foundation of ecosystems. Despite the immediate devastation, the asteroid impact also set the stage for new beginnings. In the wake of destruction, ecological niches were vacated, allowing for the rise of mammals and eventually the evolution of primates. This event, known as the Cretaceous-Paleogene (KPG) extinction, marks a pivotal point in Earth's history, a stark reminder of the planet's vulnerability to external cosmic forces, but also its resilience and capacity for renewal. The asteroid strike and its aftermath highlight the delicate balance of life on Earth, where even the most dominant species can be swept away in the blink of a geological eye. As we reflect on this ancient catastrophe, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of life and the ever-present potential for change. In the cosmic theater, we are but actors on a stage subject to forces both within and beyond our control, a humbling thought that encourages us to cherish the fragile beauty of our world. In the vast tapestry of Earth's history, there are few events as momentous as the end of the dinosaurs, a poignant reminder of the planet's capacity for sudden and dramatic change. This chapter invites us to wander through the long darkness that followed the asteroid impact, a period that forever altered the course of life on Earth. As we explore this transformative epoch, let us linger on the edges of extinction and emergence, where shadows of a bygone world meet the dawn of a new era. 66 million years ago, the Cretaceous period was drawing to an unceremonious close. The Earth was a warm, vibrant place, teeming with life both familiar and fantastical. Yet, unbeknownst to its inhabitants, a celestial body was on a collision course with destiny. The asteroid, measuring about 10 kilometers across, struck the Yucatan Peninsula with unimaginable force. The impact unleashed energies equivalent to billions of atomic bombs, marking the beginning of one of the Earth's most profound transformations. In the immediate aftermath, towering firestorms raged across continents, igniting vast swaths of vegetation. But it was in the days and months that followed that the true weight of the catastrophe was felt. Particles of ash and soot, hurled high into the atmosphere, formed a dense veil that obscured the sun. This great shroud of darkness ushered in a prolonged period of cooler temperatures, a stark contrast to the balmy climate that had cradled the dinosaurs for millions of years. In this sunless world, photosynthesis, the process by which plants convert sunlight into energy, faltered. The lush green landscapes that had dominated the Cretaceous began to wither and die. Without plants to sustain them, herbivorous dinosaurs faced starvation, and the predators that depended on them soon followed. The intricate web of life, so delicately balanced, began to unravel. The darkness was not merely a lack of light, it was an environmental upheaval that wrought havoc on the very fabric of ecosystems. The oceans, too, were not spared. As the surface waters cooled, deep ocean currents were disrupted. The delicate balance of marine life, reliant on stable temperatures and nutrient flows, was thrown into disarray. Plankton, the foundation of the oceanic food chain, struggled to survive, leading to cascading effects throughout marine ecosystems. In this time of grim transformation, the dinosaurs, majestic creatures that had roamed the Earth for over 60 million years, were vanishing into the depths of history. Yet, not all was lost to the shadow of extinction. Nature, ever resilient, began to adapt to the new normal. Small mammals, once living in the margins of dinosaur-dominated landscapes, found new opportunities in the altered world. Their ability to adapt to varied diets and environments allowed them to thrive where others could not. This period of darkness, lasting perhaps several years, slowly gave way to a gradual return of light. As the atmospheric veil dissipated, the sun once again touched the Earth's surface. With its return, life began the arduous journey of recovery. The plants, those resilient architects of the planet's ecosystems, were among the first to re-establish themselves. Hardy species, capable of surviving in the challenging post-impact conditions, set the stage for the re-greening of the Earth. The gradual resurgence of plant life spurred further ecological recovery. In time, new forests took root, and the landscapes began to teem with life once more. Mammals, now unshackled from the dominance of dinosaurs, diversified and spread across the globe. They filled niches left vacant by the great reptiles, setting the stage for the eventual rise of the mammals, including our own distant ancestors. Reflecting on this epoch, one might marvel at the resilience inherent in the natural world. The long darkness, though devastating, was a crucible from which new forms of life emerged. It is a powerful testament to the tenacity of life, its ability to persist and adapt even in the face of overwhelming odds. As we ponder this ancient cataclysm, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of life on Earth. The extinction of the dinosaurs was not merely an end, but a beginning. A stark illustration of how life's tapestry is continually woven anew from the threads of the past. In this dance of destruction and creation, we find both a warning and a promise. The change, however vast and formidable, is an intrinsic part of the Earth's story, one that continues to unfold in myriad ways, even today. Thus, as we draw this chapter to a close, we are left to contemplate the enduring legacy of the dinosaurs' end. A profound narrative of loss and renewal, woven into the very fabric of existence. Let us carry this reflection forward, mindful of our place within this grand, ever-changing theater of life. In the quiet after the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction, the Earth was a vastly altered place. The dramatic end of the dinosaurs marked a profound shift in the balance of life, a resetting of nature's intricate tapestry. As we picture this world, imagine a planet where silence reigns, a canvas wiped clean by catastrophe, yet ready to be painted anew. It is here that our journey takes us, exploring how mammals, once shadowed by the giant reptiles, began to step into the light. In the immediate aftermath of the asteroid impact, the Earth was plunged into a long, dark winter. With sunlight blocked by the debris cast into the atmosphere, photosynthesis was severely hampered, leading to a collapse in plant life and, consequently, the food chains that depended upon it. However, as the skies gradually cleared and light returned to the planet, the seeds of a new era began to germinate. Mammals, those small, often nocturnal creatures, had already been quietly evolving for over 100 million years alongside the dinosaurs. Their understated presence belied a remarkable adaptability and resilience, traits that would prove vital in the challenging circumstances of a post-dinosaur world. Unlike the great reptiles, many mammals were small enough to find refuge in burrows, avoiding both the initial impact's devastation and the subsequent harsh climate. These survival strategies, coupled with a diet that could be more flexible and omnivorous, provided them with a foothold in this new world. As the environment began to stabilize, mammals found themselves in a world less dominated by apex predators. The absence of dinosaurs opened up ecological niches that had long been inaccessible. Over time, this allowed for diversification and expansion into varied forms. The fossil record reveals a rapid increase in mammalian diversity during this period. From insectivores and small herbivores, mammals evolved into a myriad of forms, some venturing into the water, others taking to the trees, and many expanding in size and complexity. The Paleocene epoch, which followed the extinction event, was a pivotal time for mammals. It was an era of experimentation and adaptation, where life was slowly knitting itself back together. The mammals of this time were largely placental, a group distinguished by their reproductive strategy, allowing longer developmental periods for offspring within the womb. This evolutionary advantage facilitated the birth of more developed young, increasing survival rates and adaptability. The rise of mammals during this epoch is intricately linked to the evolution of flowering plants, or angiosperms. These plants, which had begun to diversify before the extinction, continued to proliferate in the post-dinosaur world. The spread of angiosperms created new habitats and food sources, not only for herbivorous mammals, but also for those insects that pollinated the flowers, thus indirectly supporting the carnivorous mammals that preyed on them. Among the most fascinating developments of this time was the evolution of primates. These early ancestors of ours were small, arboreal creatures whose adaptations to life in the trees would eventually lead to larger brains and more complex behaviors. The dexterity required to navigate the branches, coupled with the need to process intricate visual information, laid the groundwork for the cognitive advancements that would define later primate evolution. As we move through the Eocene epoch, we witness the continued success of mammals, a testament to their adaptability and resilience. The Earth was beginning to warm, leading to lush green landscapes that fostered further diversification. Mammals grew larger, more specialized, and spread across the globe. Whales, for instance, evolved from land-dwelling creatures to masters of the oceans, showcasing the remarkable evolutionary plasticity that mammals possessed. Reflecting on this rise of mammals, we find a narrative that is both humbling and inspiring. The extinction of the dinosaurs, a monumental loss, was also a catalyst for new life. It is a reminder of nature's resilience and its capacity for renewal. The mammal's story is one of quiet perseverance, of seizing opportunity amidst adversity. This era in Earth's history offers us a perspective on change and adaptation. It speaks to the underlying tenacity of life, the way it finds footholds even in the most unlikely of places, and how it flourishes given time and opportunity. As we ponder our own place within this long continuum, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of all life and the delicate balance that sustains it. In the grand sweep of our planet's history, the rise of mammals is a chapter marked by transformation and possibility. It is the dawn of a new age, one that would eventually see the emergence of creatures capable of reflecting on their own origins, creatures like us. Here, in the quiet aftermath of extinction, the stage was set for the unfolding story of the mammals, echoing a timeless lesson of endurance and evolution. As we draw our gaze over the vast tapestry of Earth's history, we find ourselves contemplating the profound patterns woven into the fabric of life itself. These patterns, shaped by endless cycles of creation and destruction, whisper of a world ever in flux, a planet constantly redefining itself through the relentless push and pull of natural forces. The story of Earth's 5 Great Extinctions is not merely a tale of loss, but one of resilience and transformation, revealing deep lessons that echo across time. Each of these cataclysmic events, from the chilling depths of the Ordovician to the fiery conclusion of the Cretaceous, serves as a testament to the delicate balance that sustains life. Within the silence that follows these extinctions, we find the seeds of new beginnings, as ecosystems slowly knit themselves back together, often in unexpected ways. Our exploration into these ancient upheavals invites us to reflect on how life, tenacious and adaptable, has always found a way to flourish anew. The patterns shared across these extinctions highlight the intricate interplay between environmental shifts and biological responses. Climatic changes, whether gradual or abrupt, often serve as catalysts for mass extinction events. The sudden cooling of the Ordovician, the drawn-out climate shifts of the Devonian, and the volcanic winters of the Permian all demonstrate how life on Earth is intricately linked to the planet's ever-changing climate. In these patterns, we see a recurring narrative. Those species that adapt, evolve, or migrate are the ones that survive, while those unable to do so fade into the annals of history. Yet, it is not merely the survival of the fittest that defines these epochs. It is also the resilience and innovation of life forms which transform adversity into opportunity. Following the Permian-Triassic extinction, often referred to as the Great Dying, life rebounded with newfound complexity, leading to the emergence of the first dinosaurs. Similarly, the end of the Cretaceous, marked by the demise of these majestic reptiles, paved the way for mammals to rise and diversify into the niches left vacant. In this cycle of loss and renewal, we observe an evolutionary dance, where catastrophe often opens the door to new chapters in the story of life. As we stand on the brink of what some scientists suggest may be a sixth extinction, driven by human activities and the rapid alteration of our planet's ecosystems, these lessons from deep time become ever more pertinent. The current rate of species loss, habitat destruction, and climate change echoes the tumultuous shifts of the past, yet the scale and speed of these changes bear a uniquely human fingerprint. Unlike the great extinctions of yore, this potential sixth extinction is one we have the power to influence. In understanding the past, we are equipped with the knowledge to shape our future. The Earth's history teaches us that while life is remarkably resilient, it is not indestructible. The balance of nature, once disrupted, takes millions of years to restore. As stewards of this planet, we bear the responsibility to heed these ancient lessons, to tread lightly, and to foster a world where both humanity and the myriad forms of life with which we share our home can thrive. In contemplating these cycles of loss and renewal, we find a quiet hope that lies in our ability to learn and adapt. The possibility of a sixth extinction need not be an inevitability, but a call to action, urging us to reevaluate our relationship with the natural world. It is an invitation to pause and reflect on the beauty and fragility of the life that surrounds us, and to act with foresight and compassion. Our journey through Earth's great extinctions reminds us of the interconnectedness of all life and the profound impact our choices have on the future. As we peer into the depths of time, we see not just a record of what has been lost, but a guide to what might yet be saved. In this reflection, we find the wisdom to navigate the challenges ahead, with the hope that future generations will look back on this era as a time when humanity chose to protect and cherish the world we call home. As we wander through the corridors of Earth's distant past, a curious pattern begins to emerge from the tapestry of time, woven together from the threads of 5 monumental extinctions. These events, separated by millions of years, share a rhythm that echoes across epochs, revealing profound insights into the nature of life and the planet itself. We find ourselves pondering the enduring dance of creation and destruction, a cosmic ballet that has shaped the world we know today. At the heart of each extinction lies a profound disruption, a shift in the environmental balance that proves too great for many species to endure. Whether it be the chill of an ice age, the heat of volcanic fury, or the sudden impact of a celestial visitor, the catalysts of these extinctions are as diverse as they are dramatic. Yet, within this diversity, a common theme emerges: the fragility of ecosystems and their susceptibility to change. It's a reminder that the delicate web of life is finely tuned to its surroundings, and even small perturbations can cascade into sweeping transformations. Amidst the turmoil, we can discern the role of climate change as a recurrent force. Across the ages, shifts in atmospheric composition, temperature, and sea levels have acted as both harbingers and accelerants of extinction. The Ordovician's sudden cooling, the Devonian's climatic fluctuations, and the greenhouse world of the Permian Triassic all illustrate how climate can sculpt the fate of life. This recurring theme underscores the significance of the planet's climate systems as both the nurturer and challenger of biodiversity. Volcanism, too, appears as a frequent player in these ancient dramas. The immense Siberian traps, for instance, unleashed a torrent of magma and gases that enveloped the Permian world in a shroud of despair. Similarly, volcanic activity during the Triassic and Cretaceous extinctions contributed to environmental upheaval, altering the chemistry of air and sea. Each eruption reminds us of Earth's dynamic nature, its crust a restless canvas upon which the forces of destruction and renewal are painted in turns. In examining these patterns, we also note the interplay between life and the planet's geological processes. The rise of land plants during the Devonian set in motion, a profound alteration of Earth's atmosphere, sequestering carbon and cooling the climate, a change that inadvertently set the stage for extinction. This complex relationship between life and the geosphere reveals a world where the actions of living organisms can, over eons, transform the very conditions that sustain them. The aftermath of these extinctions holds its own lessons. In each case, the devastation was followed by a renaissance of life, as surviving species adapted to the new world or as entirely new lineages emerged. The dinosaurs' ascension in the Triassic, the flowering plants' dominance post-Cretaceous, and the mammalian diversification that followed all speak to the planet's resilience and capacity for regeneration. Life, it seems, is an indefatigable force, forever finding new paths in the wake of catastrophe. These cycles of loss and renewal hint at a deeper truth about evolution. It is not a linear march towards perfection, but a series of fits and starts shaped by chance and necessity. Extinctions act as reset buttons, clearing ecological space for innovation and experimentation. In this light, they are not mere endings but also beginnings, opportunities for life to explore new possibilities and to diversify in novel ways. As we reflect on these ancient patterns, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of all things. The history of life is a story told not in isolation, but in the context of its environment, with every extinction serving as a chapter in a larger narrative. This perspective encourages us to look beyond the immediacy of our own time, and to consider the long-term implications of our actions on the global stage. In contemplating these themes, we find ourselves humbled by the vastness of time and the complexity of the natural world. The Great Extinctions stand as monuments to both the vulnerability and the tenacity of life. They invite us to ponder our place within this grand history, urging us to tread lightly and with respect for the intricate systems that sustain us. In the quiet moments of reflection, we realize that these patterns are not just relics of the past, but cautionary tales for the present. The lessons gleaned from ancient extinctions resonate today as we face our own environmental challenges. They serve as a poignant reminder that the Earth, magnificent in its resilience, is yet sensitive to the changes we impose upon it. In embracing the wisdom of history, we are called to foster a future where life can flourish, resilient and diverse, in harmony with the planet we call home. For in understanding the past, we find guidance for the paths yet to be forged, and in acknowledging the patterns of extinction, we discover the potential for renewal and hope. The story of life on Earth is one of resilience and rebirth, a narrative woven through eons of dramatic change and profound transformation. It is a tale that reminds us of the impermanence of existence, where every catastrophe carries within it the seeds of renewal. In the quiet contemplation of deep time, we find that mass extinctions, while devastating, have often served as the prelude to a new symphony of life. These turning points, marked by the disappearance of familiar forms, have historically opened the door to novel ecosystems and the emergence of extraordinary new life forms. Consider for a moment the aftermath of the Permian, Triassic extinction, often referred to as the Great Dying. Occurring around 252 million years ago, this was the most severe extinction event recorded, wiping out approximately 96% of marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrates. Yet, from the ashes of this cataclysm, life began to piece itself back together. The surviving species, now occupying a world largely devoid of competition, were presented with unparalleled ecological opportunities. Among the creatures that rose to prominence in this new world were the ancestors of dinosaurs and mammals, groups that would eventually dominate the landscape of life for millions of years. The process through which life rebounds from such widespread loss is neither swift nor straightforward. It is a gradual unfolding, a testament to the tenacity of evolution. In the wake of extinction, ecosystems undergo a period of instability, marked by the absence of established ecological niches. This void creates a canvas upon which natural selection can paint in bold new strokes. Species that manage to eke out a survival are often those with adaptable traits, capable of exploiting the changing conditions to their advantage. Over time, these survivors diversify, filling the niches left vacant by those that have perished. The Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction offers another illuminating chapter in this chronicle of renewal. About 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid impact brought an abrupt end to the reign of dinosaurs, along with many other species. The world was plunged into darkness, the skies choked with debris, blocking sunlight and upsetting the delicate balance of the planet's climate. Yet, as the dust settled and the Earth began to heal, a new era dawned. With the dinosaurs gone, mammals, those small, often nocturnal creatures that had lived in the shadows of the great reptiles, began to diversify. Their adaptive prowess led them to evolve into a myriad of forms, from the smallest shrews to the largest whales, eventually giving rise to the primates and, much later, humans. These historical narratives exemplify a fundamental principle of life's resilience, the capacity to transform adversity into opportunity. The mechanisms behind this process are as varied as they are fascinating. Genetic mutations, which may have been neutral or disadvantageous in stable times, can become advantageous under the new conditions following an extinction event. Such mutations allow organisms to exploit new resources or adapt to altered environments, setting the stage for evolutionary innovation. The concept of ecological release is also central to understanding how life rebounds after catastrophe. When dominant species are removed from an ecosystem, resources such as food, space, and light become more readily available. This release from competition facilitates rapid evolutionary changes as organisms diversify to exploit the newfound abundance. It is through this process that new species emerge, filling ecological roles that were previously occupied, or even creating entirely new niches. The fossil record, our window into these epochs of change, reveals a pattern of punctuated equilibrium, long periods of relative stability interrupted by short bursts of rapid evolution, following mass extinctions. This pattern is reflective of the dynamic interplay between extinction and speciation, a cycle that has shaped the trajectory of life on Earth for billions of years. The very landscapes we inhabit today are a testament to this enduring cycle, where the echoes of ancient catastrophes resonate in the diversity of life around us. In reflecting upon these cycles, one might ponder the role of chance and necessity in the evolutionary story. While the precise triggers of mass extinctions often involve stochastic events, such as asteroid impacts or massive volcanic eruptions, the subsequent paths of recovery are guided by the deterministic processes of natural selection. It is this interplay of randomness and regularity that has crafted the rich tapestry of life, a tapestry that is continuously being woven in the present moment. As we look to the past, we find that each extinction event has been a crucible of transformation, forging new pathways for the evolution of life. The resilience of life in the face of adversity serves as a poignant reminder of our own place within this grand narrative. We, too, are products of countless cycles of extinction and renewal, shaped by the same forces that have sculpted the evolution of all living beings. In contemplating the lessons of deep time, we come to appreciate the delicate balance of our own existence. The knowledge that catastrophe opened the door to new life in the past offers a perspective of hope and humility as we face the challenges of the present and future. For in the quiet persistence of life, we see a reflection of our own potential for renewal and growth, a testament to the enduring spirit of life on this remarkable planet. As we turn our attention to the present, our gaze softens upon a world teetering delicately on the edge of potential change. The question that looms ever larger in scientific circles and public consciousness alike is whether we are on the cusp of a sixth mass extinction. This contemplation draws us into a tapestry of interconnected threads, where the actions of humanity weave both peril and possibility into the fabric of the Earth. Our current epoch, often referred to as the Anthropocene, reflects the profound impact that human activity has had on the planet. Unlike the natural cataclysms of the past, this era is defined by the indelible marks of industry, agriculture, and the relentless pursuit of progress. As we peer into the depths of this modern age, we find ourselves surrounded by a myriad of environmental challenges, each contributing to the pressures felt by the natural world. Climate change, that ever-present specter, stands as a significant driver of ecological uncertainty. Atmospheric carbon dioxide levels have risen sharply since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, leading to a warming planet. This shift in global temperatures echoes the climate disruptions of ancient extinctions, though it is propelled by the burning of fossil fuels rather than volcanic upheaval or asteroid impact. As glaciers retreat and sea levels rise, we witness the reshaping of coastlines and the transformation of habitats, much as they were altered in epochs long past. The warming of the Earth's climate is not merely a matter of temperature, but a complex tapestry affecting weather patterns, ocean currents, and the very rhythm of life. The bleaching of coral reefs, for instance, serves as a poignant metaphor for the larger crisis. These vibrant underwater ecosystems, teeming with life, are succumbing to warming seas and increased acidity, reminiscent of the acidifying oceans of the Permian Triassic event. The loss of such biodiversity hotspots reverberates through the food chain, a silent echo of past extinctions. Yet, climate change is but one strand in this intricate web. Habitat destruction, driven by deforestation and urban expansion, further strains the resilience of ecosystems. Forests, often referred to as the lungs of our planet, are felled at an alarming rate, releasing stored carbon and disrupting the intricate balance of life they support. Much like the vast forests of the Devonian period that once reshaped the atmosphere, today's trees play a crucial role in maintaining ecological stability. Their loss diminishes the planet's capacity to absorb carbon dioxide, compounding the effects of climate change. In the shadow of these transformations lies the specter of biodiversity loss. Species are vanishing at rates unparalleled since the disappearance of the dinosaurs. This decline, often termed the sixth extinction, is characterized by a rapid loss of species across various taxa. Whether through habitat destruction, pollution, or climate change, the result is an accelerating rate of extinction. The International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, estimates that thousands of species are currently threatened with extinction, a sobering reminder of the fragility of life. The plight of species like the Sumatran orangutan or the vaquita porpoise is emblematic of a broader narrative. These creatures, along with countless others, face pressures that mirror the great die-offs of history, albeit at a swifter human-induced pace. The interconnectedness of ecosystems means that the loss of even a single species can have cascading effects, altering food webs and the very structure of the environments they inhabit. In considering the possibility of a sixth extinction, we are invited to reflect on the role of humanity as both a force of destruction and a potential agent of renewal. Science and technology, while contributors to ecological strain, also offer tools for mitigating these impacts. Conservation efforts, habitat restoration, and sustainable practices provide glimmers of hope amidst the challenges. The reintroduction of species and the protection of natural reserves are endeavors that echo the gradual recovery seen in post-extinction eras, albeit driven by conscious human effort rather than the slow march of geological time. The narrative of extinction is not one of inevitability but of choice and consequence. As we navigate the complexities of the Anthropocene, the stories we tell about our relationship with the Earth hold the power to shape the future. The lessons of deep time remind us that life is resilient, capable of rebirth after even the harshest trials. Yet this resilience is not without limits. As we ponder the possibility of a sixth extinction, we find ourselves at a crossroads, with the capacity to steer the course of our planet's story. The decisions made today, from the energy we consume to the landscapes we preserve, will reverberate through time, influencing the legacy we leave for future generations. It is a responsibility both daunting and profound, a testament to the interconnectedness of all life on Earth. Thus, we continue our exploration, not with fear, but with a quiet resolve to understand and preserve the delicate balance of our world. In doing so, we honor the ancient cycles of loss and renewal that have shaped the Earth, and perhaps we ensure that our chapter in this grand tale is one of restoration and hope. As we draw our gaze across the vast tapestry of Earth's history, there emerges a pattern of both awe-inspiring creation and sobering destruction. This cycle, a rhythmic dance of loss and renewal, has shaped the world we inhabit today. It whispers to us through the fossilized remains of ancient forests and echoes in the strata of rocks that chronicle ages past. These natural chronicles reveal a world that is both resilient and fragile, where life endures through the most unthinkable upheavals, only to emerge transformed. Reflecting on this cyclical nature, we find ourselves pondering the dual nature of extinction events. They are, at once, catastrophic and creative. Each mass extinction, while marking a profound end, also serves as a prologue to something new and unexpected. In the aftermath of each great dying, life has not only persisted, but has often flourished in novel forms, seizing the opportunity to diversify in ways previously unimagined. Consider the end of the Cretaceous, when the mighty dinosaurs met their demise. In their absence, mammals, once small and unobtrusive, found the ecological niches left vacant and began their extraordinary ascent. It is a poignant reminder that what seems like an end can often be a beginning cloaked in disguise. This resilience is a testament to life's indomitable spirit, a constant renegotiation with an ever-changing planet. In pondering these cycles, we are led to reflect on the notion of time itself. Geological time, in its vastness, dwarfs the human scale, stretching our understanding and challenging our perception of permanence. The Earth, in its 4.5 billion years, has witnessed epochs of ice and fire, of flourishing biodiversity and stark desolation. These cycles remind us of the impermanence of our current moment, encouraging a perspective that sees our existence as both fleeting and precious. As we delve into these reflections, we are inevitably drawn to consider our place within this grand temporal tapestry. Unlike the life forms of previous eras, humans wield an unprecedented influence over the planet's fate. Our actions, for better or worse, are now etched into the geological record. The Anthropocene, as it is often called, marks a new chapter where humanity is both an actor and a force of nature. This role carries with it a profound responsibility, one that asks us not only to learn from Earth's past, but to act with foresight and care for its future. The lessons gleaned from these cycles of extinction and renewal urge us to consider the fragility of ecosystems and the interconnectedness of life. Like a meticulously woven fabric, the biosphere relies on the balance and interplay of countless threads, each contributing to the overall strength and resilience of the whole. When one thread is pulled, others quiver in response. This interconnectedness highlights the importance of biodiversity and the vital role it plays in maintaining ecological stability. In recognizing this, we also acknowledge the importance of conservation and sustainable stewardship. The knowledge that past extinctions have paved the way for new life does not absolve us of the responsibility to protect what currently exists. Rather, it serves as a call to cherish and preserve the diversity of life that enriches our planet. For it is in this diversity that the seeds of future resilience are sown. As we reflect upon the cycles of loss and renewal, we are invited to embrace a mindset of humility and awe. The Earth, with its capacity for both destruction and creation, reminds us of the profound forces at play beyond our control. Yet, it also offers hope in its ability to renew and sustain life in forms both familiar and strange. In this contemplation, there lies a gentle reminder of our own potential for renewal. Just as the Earth has weathered countless storms and emerged anew, so too can humanity learn and grow from its challenges. The cycles of nature encourage us to embrace change, to innovate, and to find harmony within our own lives and communities. In the quiet moments of reflection, let us draw inspiration from the resilience of life itself. Let us hold close the knowledge that in every ending there lies the possibility of a new beginning. And as we continue our journey through time, may we carry with us a deep respect for the cycles that have shaped and will continue to shape the world we call home.